Welcome to the dumbest smart guy podcast on the planet. This is the Central Unintelligence Podcast.
Yeah, buddy. You know what that song means?
Fucking wait, what's that one guy that says that? Is it Ron?
Ron who?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
Wait, the weightlifter guy.
Oh, yeah, Ronnie Coleman.
Ronnie Coleman.
Lightweight. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. Anyway, you know what that song means. As Adam just so succinctly put it, that song is inappropriate for an informative podcast. But luckily for you and us, this podcast is not informative. It's the Central Unintelligence Podcast, where we are the biggest idiots, and you should do your own fucking research.
The home of stupidity.
Yes, the home of amateur historiologists. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, my name's Josh. Here today with Adam.
Howdy.
This is episode fucking 19. Hot damn, we're so close to 20, man.
But that's going to be the reoccurring Wow, I just butchered my words. I had too many Hershey bars.
Yeah, man, he's chocolate wasted right now.
I'm all riled up. Okay, so that's going to be a reoccurring story for 2024, where we make the landmark episodes 20 throughout all the pod. I hope we get to that point.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to get to that point, and then probably what's the next goal after that though? What's the next landmark number?
25,
40, 25,
50. I mean, 50? I don't know. I mean, we're not going to reach 50 this year. But
no, but you never know. So, anyways, all right. So
take the lead. Take the reins.
Oh, I'm taking the reins here. So we have had a couple of things, breaking news just kind of happened just as we're sitting here doing this on January the 5th in the early morning hours, about fucking almost 1 a.m.
True story.
So we're going to talk about that first. Then we're going to go into a segment regarding our predictions for the year of geopolitical events that we think are going to happen, or at least probably that I think are going to happen.
Yeah, this is mainly about you.
It's more so going to be what I think is going to happen and how Adam's going to tell me that I'm an idiot and I'm probably wrong. And he's right. You're probably right. Let's just preface this with, yes, you're right. I am an idiot and I am probably going to be wrong. But man, that broken clock it is right twice a day. So you never fucking know. But do that, and then maybe, just maybe, depending on how much time this gets us, I did want to do a little bit of a discussion on that fucking movie that came out on Netflix. The what was the fucking the End of the World? What is it called? Fuck, god damn it! I can never get the fucking name of that right. It's the one the Obamas were sponsoring, or I don't know what the fuck. It's with Julia Roberts, God damn it. I feel like an idiot. Should fucking
World Left Behind.
Leave the World Behind.
Leave the World Behind.
That's what it's called.
This movie has a lot of people that it's an ensemble cast.
It really is. And so,
but these are people that were popular fucking years ago and not so much now.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. We'll get to what I think about this.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
I you know what? And I know the Belgians, they can't wait either. They're sitting there just foaming at the mouth, waiting for us to get to that. But you'll have to wait because that's the main event. So you'll have to get through the other shit first. Well, actually, not anymore, because as we do the chapters now, you could just skip right to it. God damn, that's true.
All right.
Anyways,
so do you want to start?
Let's start off
with the word of the day.
Yeah, let's start off with the word of the day.
All right.
Oh, that's a new thing we're doing, by the way. If in case you haven't known, which you probably haven't, because this is only the second episode we've done this on. But
yeah,
well, the second episode of 2024. This is the first CUP episode we're doing this, but we're gonna start doing on every single fucking episode a word of the day.
I think we should keep it simple.
Yeah. Okay.
For this one, since we're on the subject of world affairs, eventually.
Yeah.
So what's the timestamp here?
4:33.
4:33.
Yeah.
Let me write that down real quickly because I don't want to forget it.
Because we will forget it.
4:33, word of the day.
We will set it and forget it. Word of the day.
Word of the day. I'm going to keep it simple and to stay on the subject of geopolitics because, maybe you don't know the word. Maybe you're not familiar with it.
I'm probably not because I'm an idiot.
Yeah, let's go with the word embargo.
Embargo. Oh, hey, that's a good one. Can I get the definition of that?
In order to temporarily, so it is a noun.
Okay.
In order to temporarily stop something, especially trading or giving information. So to put an embargo on, say, the United States, China is putting an embargo of electronics on the U.S. would be an example of its use. So that means that they are withholding products or goods from the United States itself.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. What were you going to add something or?
Well, no, I think that embargo is a very interesting word. And, what else do we say about the words? That's it. We're just going to go with that, use it in a sentence. I have to come up with it in a sentence of my own.
I mean, obviously the word itself is okay. So the word itself is spelled EMBARO, or sorry, EMBARGO. It is a noun. And again, the definition is in order to temporarily stop something, especially trading or giving information. So I thought while we're on the subject of geopolitics, for those people that aren't familiar with the term, now you know.
Yeah, now you know. And you just got a daily dose of fucking knowledge. So anyways, what?
So what are we doing as far as the next segment?
Oh, right now, let's talk about we could talk about either the breaking news or we could talk about your the thing with the Houthis or whatever they're called. All right, cool.
Ahead, yeah. So,
let's go ahead and let's do the breaking news shit that just happened real quick. So right now it's 6:52.
6:52. 46.
No, it's 5. Well, now it's 6:50. Now let's just say 7 minutes because that's where we're at. Okay, so now we've just had breaking news happen. The first thing was approximately 5-ish hours ago in South Dakota, right outside the Air Force Base that's there, a goddamn B-1 fucking bomber just went down, crashed. It's still obviously too early to figure out what was going on or what happened, but all 4 occupants ejected safely, which it's funny and it's interesting to note that certain bomber aircraft have ejection seats and some don't. Some you got to just, I don't think the B-52 has fucking ejection seats. I think you just got to fucking jump out one of the side doors if you're going down and you parachute your ass out. Yeah, you got to use your own fucking parachute and get out of there.
Why would it not have?
Well, I think because the B-52 was designed in I think like the 40s.
Okay.
So they didn't even really have ejection seat technology was new in fighter jets.
Yeah.
But I don't think that they had the technology to put it into a large scale bomber. And I think retrofitting it is probably you might as well just make a whole new plane if you're going to do that. So I think they just said, fuck it. We don't need to, we don't need to do it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So in terms of aircrafts, ejection seats, I think launch you out, right? Mostly, if not all of them do, right?
Right, yeah.
Well, I know this sounds like very stupid, but if you're playing with gravity, why not just have it collapse from underneath? You press a lever or you press a lever.
It dumps you out the bottom?
It just dumps you out the bottom because that's way more efficient and doesn't require anything.
Well, that's true, but if the plane is having some malfunction, well, really, it's if the plane's been shot at, right? Or there's something on fire or something's happening, right? There's a problem. So if you've lost a wing because you got hit with a missile and you're fucking spinning,
true.
If it just dumped you out the bottom, you're going to probably end up at this, traveling at 800 miles an hour or even further than that or more higher than that. You're probably just with the inertia and gravity, you're going to hit the fucking plane. So the theory, at least my understanding behind it, is why it ejects you it uses rockets to just eject you up and out because it's ejecting you as far away from the fucking problem as possible so that then, because you're not going to just rocket down to earth. The parachute's going to deploy and you're going to slowly float fucking down, right?
Yeah.
So once the ejector seat propels you up and away from the problem, no matter how fast it's going, the plane is now squarely in front of you or somewhere else. It's gone. You're not. You're far. You're up and above it, and you're gonna be okay. Because obviously, you have to worry about if it dumps you. Let's say you dumped out the bottom. Now the plane's above you, that's on fire, and you're also falling with it. So then how's your parachute going to deploy if it's still above you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I think, the theory behind it, or at least my understanding is to shoot you up and away. And what sucks is I've seen video of planes that were stuck in barrel rolls, and dudes have ejected while the plane was upside down, and it pops the chute while they're still upside down. And then it like fucking it's so weird the way it does it. It'll catch with the air and it'll deploy the chute. And then it fucking swings you around like a fucking, you know, those balls on the, what is that called? The little balls on the thing where it swings them and they hit one side and then it goes, the inertia of it goes through and it pops the other one. And then it just goes back and forth like,
yeah, like a pendulum.
Yeah, there you go. It's like that. It's like a fucking pendulum. Man, I'm an idiot. I didn't know the word fucking pendulum. Maybe that should be a word of the day on one of these.
Pendulum.
So it fucking swings it around and then it just like whoop. And then, man, you're just slowly floating down. But
I'm sure you'd be throwing up.
oh, fuck yeah, you're throwing up. There's no way you're not losing fucking whatever's contents are in your gut at that point. But yeah, so the B-1 bomber, as I learned when I was looking this up, the last B-1 bomber that was built in like 1988. And they haven't built a new one since. They've just been, which is kind of the MO of our military industrial complex at this point, is they essentially don't really build new shit for the most part. It's just, if the shit still goes, they're just going to retrofit it with modern technology, which is kind of basically just what they do. They just rehab it and put it out modern technology. Those things back in the 1980s cost about $70 million back then to build. So there's been about 100 that have been built in that time frame from, I think it was in the early 70s to the late 80s. They built about 100 of them, and it's obviously it's difficult to find exact numbers of how many are currently in service because some of that information is classified. But regardless, we lost one. One went down, and it's obviously still too early to tell if it was malicious, if it was some sort of malfunction, which I mean, I am leaning towards, because these fucking aircraft are 30 years old. It's probably, or 30, shit, they're coming up on 40 years old. I'm sure it was probably some sort of malfunction that happened with it. Something fucking, an engine fell off. I mean, fuck, who knows what could have happened. So we had that happen, and then just fucking 20 minutes ago, South Korea is evacuating this island called Yeonpyeong, which is, it's off of the western coast of South Korea. It's kind of on the border. It's squarely on the South Korean side, though, of, I think you probably just titled the segment Breaking News or whatever, and then we can just keep it, unless you want to just do individual chapters for every little single topic, that's fine. Anyways, so it's squarely on the South Korean fucking side, it seems. And it's kind of far off of the coast, but basically they are disputed waters is what they're saying. North Korea is saying it's theirs. They want it. But basically, South Korea is evacuating 2,000 people that live there from the island due to the possibility of what they believe is an attack by North Korea that's coming soon. And apparently, the North Koreans has fired over 200 artillery rounds toward and at the island and the western coast of the Korean peninsula, essentially also at mainland South Korea. So I don't know what the likelihood of this turning into anything is. They always have that shit where North Korea does that thing where they will fucking talk all this shit. They'll throw up some missiles. They'll fucking say they have all these nukes. They'll do these parades. But at the end of the day, North Korea actually hasn't fucking done anything before. They haven't fucking since the Korean War, North Korea hasn't done shit, essentially, in terms of any major military fucking activity against South Korea. So is that going to change this year? Maybe. But it's that, like I said, that broken clock being right twice a day thing. It only has to happen once. And it only has to happen the most effective time, which is by surprise. And so, if they decide to do some shit, I think it will definitely catch everybody off guard because people don't think North Korea has the balls. So I guess we'll see where this goes. Like I said, this just happened 30 minutes ago. So there is no information whatsoever other than this evacuation order that's gone out.
Where is this? Exactly?
It's on the western coast of the Korean Peninsula. So it is on the borderline of where the North Korean sovereign, quote unquote, waters are. It's like North Korea is saying that this island belongs to them. They've been saying it for years. South Korea has people there. So they clearly, what's that old saying? Possession's 9/10 of the law. Well, they possess it. South Korea does. So now North Korea is shooting a bunch of artillery shells at it. And also towards the western coast of South Korea, which is dangerous because if you hit something, even if it's by accident,
could be
a response will happen.
Could be a declaration of war.
It very well could be. It very well could be.
So much like not exactly like the situation with Guyana and Venezuela. Well,
Yeah.
At least they wrote a piece of paper that says, "Hey, this belongs to us, you pieces of shit."
Right. At least they fucking did. They claimed an official thing, but they also dedicated themselves to not fighting each other over this, allegedly. So
Not yet.
that's not a thing here. To me, the North Koreans and the South Koreans, at least I think the South Koreans have been itching for North Korea to fuck up and do something that they can just go in and fucking wipe them out. Because to me, culturally, the South Koreans have this fucking thing where it's, yeah, we're the same, but you guys are assholes. You fucked with us back in the 50s and wanted to be communists, and we had this whole fucking war and killing each other, and now there's this giant demilitarized zone that separates us, and we want payback, bitch. We want payback. Because regardless, Korea did used to be one singular country, and a lot of people that were in the north, that when it became communists, they got displaced and had to come down south because they didn't want to be communists.
What a bad horse to bet on, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I don't mean to talk shit, but man, you thought you were on the winning side
Oh, yeah, man.
going to North Korea?
Oh, you fucked up, man.
Yeah.
You fucked up.
You could be in South Korea right now,
living it up.
being a StarCraft legend, a League of Legends legend, being I forgot what else they play there. Some esports game.
Oh, yeah.
Being a star. But instead you got to figure out what your next meal is going to be.
You got to figure out if you're going to die of starvation and or exposure possibly.
Yeah.
So, that's and that's nothing new in North Korea. That's also nothing new in societies that are generally communist.
Right.
Because as we've learned over our time of doing these episodes, communism just doesn't work. Because corruption always fucks everybody else. So it's fucking unfortunate that this was what happened, and this is now what it's come to. And I don't know where North Korea squarely fits on the world stage. North Korea, even though we can't really say for sure what the plan for them is, obviously someone's fucking behind them doing this. They're not just doing this on their own. But even though North Korea may be a small time quote unquote player, the effect of what it is that they do is felt on the entire world stage.
So it's like they're like the fall guy for China and possibly Russia, right?
Right. Or they're the test bed, I feel like, is maybe more accurate. That's kind of where I have thought that they are, like the test bed of, oh, well, if we're going to sacrifice a pawn to take a queen.
Or push the envelope. Or
right. We'll
yeah.
sacrifice North Korea.
Yeah.
We'll let them fucking get wiped out so that we can then maybe move in or have an excuse to do something.
Yeah. I mean, on a tangentially related note.
Yeah.
I mean, this is very much like and maybe this is a segue for this particular subject while we're on it.
Yeah.
So this was released by the White House itself. There was a joint statement amongst the countries. Let's see. Let me just pull it up real quick. So this was a joint statement that was released by the White House that is inclusive of the United States, Australia, Bahrain, Belgium, Canada, Denmark, Germany, Italy, Japan. Hey, Belgium.
Oh, Belgium. Fuck yeah.
Getting
shout outs by the White House, man.
Yeah. So Germany, Italy, Japan, Netherlands, New Zealand, Republic of Korea. So interesting.
South Korea.
Yeah.
That's what
but it says Korea.
Republic of
South Korea,
South
but
Korea.
they wrote it as the true Korea.
the good Korea, I guess, right? Is what they're saying.
Singapore, which is interesting because I didn't know I didn't know they got down like that. And the United Kingdom, of course, are good allies / enemies.
Yeah, our frenemy, if you will.
Yeah. So there was a joint statement that they released that they are not down with the Houthis attacking naval vessels, in addition to any ships that carry oil or goods or anything like that they are condemning that. So the reason I bring it up is that it's been known that the Houthis, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, have been one of the proxy groups in which Iran has been attacking the US in some form or another.
Right.
So much like North Korea. I mean, they are basically the
fall guy.
They're the fall guy for presumably China and possibly Russia, but Iran itself is using the Houthis to attack the U.S. And I just found that kind of interesting that they made this joint statement because I don't know, man. It just makes me think about. I know we kind of talked about this not even off the record, but just not including offline. Yeah. It just makes me think about the BRICS alliance because they're making a joint statement with these countries, right? So to me, this is indicative that amongst trading nations, that they are down to fucking fight, for the same cause. So everybody's on one page. Everybody's down for the same cause. So that means, when it comes down to the BRICS alliance, that it will go down the exact same way. Only in name, or rather through this alliance, they're saying, yes, as an economic alliance, we are trading or doing whatever they are and maybe creating a new currency that maybe, devalues the US dollar.
Right.
But when it comes down to brass tacks and maybe escalating to warfare, they will be down. Because this says it right here. Like this.
Oh, it's in black and white.
This whole statement to me reads as though if this escalates to warfare, these are the nations that are down for getting down.
Oh yeah, and this is one of the things that, and maybe this topic was perfect because this is a perfect segue into the predictions for 2024. At least
I fucked up the timestamps, by the way. So
that's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
Well, we'll figure. Well, I kind of have a rough idea, so we'll be good. So, because that right there, that statement is the battle lines are being drawn as we're seeing it, and it's crazy that we're seeing it in real fucking time. In this is going to be in history books that maybe our grandchildren will fucking be reading about, and we're here witnessing it live because we see the BRICS alliance happening. We know that's going down. We know who's on that team, and then you just had this statement come out, basically the inverse of BRICS. It's the Western nations. It's the allies versus the Axis, right? And that right there, the countries that signed on to that statement, that's who is going to be on Team USA when shit starts fucking popping off. When the shit hits the fan, those are the countries that are going to be allied with us and militarily assist us. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just going to quickly note that Iran is one of the nations amongst BRICS itself, one of the newer countries to be added.
Yeah, they're just added.
So it's not just a coincidence that I'm just bringing this up. I'm bringing this up specifically to note that Iran is within the BRICS organization.
Yeah, absolutely. And this, it's very much, to me at least, clear that the eventual end game for all of this fucking shit that's happening on the global stage is that the BRICS alliance wants to become the new fucking USA. They want to become the new global hegemon, right? That's what they want. And every major conflict that if you look at throughout history, every global conflict or major, maybe not global in the sense of the entire world, but the global of what was at that time, right? The entirety of Europe. That was considered the most of the world, or whatever you want to call it. So if you look at all the conflicts that have happened throughout history, the big ones primarily are economic. Comes down to economics. Comes down to either money, you're stopping me from getting it, or you got it and I want it. And what leads to the conflict is that whoever controls the money, that's who controls the fucking world, man. That's who controls everything. If you can control the cash or the riches or the treasures or whatever it is you want to refer to it as, then you control the decisions and who has what and who does what. And every time there has been a global switch in who or not a global switch, but who's been the global leader economically, anytime that's switched, it's always been violence has followed, because no nation or empire or whatever it is you want to fucking refer to them as is going to easily give up that top tier fucking position on the world stage. They're not going to do it silently, and they're not going to do it they're not going to do it willingly, and it won't be fucking quiet. The only way for a country to stop someone who is coming after them economically, to beat them, if you've tried all the other peaceful means, when it comes down to it, war is always on the table, because that's how you do it. That's how you take out your enemy. And that's how you stop them from taking you over economically. That's the only way that BRICS is going to go away, is if us and whoever else is on that statement decide they got to end.
I will say, okay, I don't know if this is going to transition over to the predictions segment.
It's kind of where I'm going with, but yeah, go ahead.
All right, so we're going to jump the gun?
No, go ahead. No, well, let's finish with your thought, and then we'll see where we go. We'll see where this leads. It might lead into that. Who knows?
All right, so I think if I had a prediction or even just an observation, man, I don't think this is going to come down to a World War III scenario, because I think we know what the end game is for that. It turns into nuclear warfare and mutually assured destruction. I think, if anything, it just escalates to more proxy wars across multiple nations, because we've already seen. I don't even remember why they were. Oh, actually, I do remember why they were there. Russian militants in Nigeria,
right? Yeah.
After their government is overthrown with their president, knowing that Russia would endorse this country because they have, Nigeria is I believe, a uranium rich country.
Yeah.
Is that things play out like that, where these other countries that are the proxies of where wars are happening, it's like, all right, maybe we can influence the sphere of influence to have more Western nations or more Western governments, or we ally ourselves with smaller countries that are resource rich.
Yeah.
So that we can prepare ourselves for maybe global warfare. Maybe it plays out like that. Maybe that's how things unfold, is we just have many more proxy wars, and maybe they seemingly don't seem relevant to one another, but they are, because again, if we're talking about, I don't know why, but Russia just decided they were going to hop in and give the thumbs up to Nigeria and say, hey, we like the way you guys are doing things, overthrowing the president, a country that has a Western style government. Like, we give you thumbs up. Hey, can you give us a kickback for resources and stuff? Like, give us a little uranium so we can make some nuclear warheads.
Right. Yeah.
And then maybe Russia takes that template and just applies it to some more other country. I mean, shit. Maybe this turns into 1980s again. Maybe this turns. Maybe.
I kind of agree with you a little bit on that. And one of the things that to give context, if we look back at World War II, right? World War II started in 1938. That's really when it kicked off, when Germany invaded Poland. That was like the first kickoff to it. Most people at the time, and even a few years later, that they didn't recognize the beginning of World War II until basically Pearl Harbor happened. That was, most people had recognized that then became the official World War II, because other than that, the conflict was basically just kind of stuck in Europe. It wasn't, in 1938 it was Germany invading Poland, and then Germany invaded so-and-so, and then they invaded France, and then they invaded this, and then they invaded that, and then they were like, oh, okay, well, we'll stop here. And then they kept going, and they were like, fuck it, we're going to take Britain now. So
we're going around the world.
Yeah, exactly.
It turned to a Howard Dean segment.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, basically. So right now, I think historically, when it's looked back on in 50 years, I think that personally, I think World War III has already been started. I feel like, I believe my not prediction, but my take on that is World War III started with COVID.
World War III started with COVID.
Yeah, absolutely. It started with COVID because it's a known fact that it came from China. If China releases this virus that's whatever, and they downplayed it at first, let's remember, they did downplay it and said, oh, nothing's wrong, everything's fine here, it's all good. And then they kind of started fucking with everybody, because then they kept saying that all these, you saw these videos of people quote unquote dying and all this weird shit coming out, right? That people were trying to get out, but really the numbers weren't that bad, or at least in Western society, it never got that bad, because we have actual like antibiotics and not antibiotics, but like we have treatments and stuff. We have better facilities than what was in most of these rural areas in China, where the people that were dying the most were dying, right? So you release this virus with the intent of shutting the economy down, which is what it did. It's a fact. It shut the United States economy down for what? The lockdowns for the initial ones were like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and you couldn't go anywhere. You couldn't do jack shit. You could stay at home. You could go to the grocery store maybe, and then God forbid if you wanted to buy toilet paper, because that was fucking whatever, remember everybody wanted toilet paper. But fucking, that's to me when World War III started. And it has also been escalating through economic warfare with BRICS. It's been escalating through cyber warfare, and it's been also escalating through proxy wars, which is what all this shit that Russia invading the Ukraine, right? That's how it starts. Russia invades the Ukraine. And then in a couple more years, they push for, they've been there, almost 2 years now, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess, the other thing to note too is like, conveniently, and this is more coincidental than anything, but it is rather strange that this whole Palestine situation and Israel popped up when things aren't necessarily going all that well for Russia. So, as a diversionary tactic to have this skirmish in the Middle East for the U.S. to get involved, that can't just be.
It's not coincidence.
It's not a coincidence.
There's no fucking way.
It feels like it's a diversion from. Think about it, because within our own government, they were trying to pass a budget in order to supply the Ukraine
with more shit.
With more shit, and Republicans were like, "No, we don't.
We need to go to Israel.
This is going to Israel."
Yeah.
So who does that play favor to? It plays favor to the Russians.
It benefits the Russians 100%.
It's that to me is not a fucking coincidence. Like every international event like this, there are tethers or ties that create a domino effect. So I think this isn't a coincidence, dude. Everything folds into one another.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's why I think the future of this is eventually conflict between directly the United States and China. I'm not sure where exactly that happens or when that happens, because I can't fucking predict the future. But I do think that it's inevitable at this point. We've passed whatever demarcation line there has been, or whatever line in the fucking sand, point of no return, if you will. Mm-hmm. That's fucking gone. We blew by that fucking long ago. And we're on a trajectory where that's going to happen. It's an incipient conflict from the previous word of the day, right? Incipient.
Yeah, I think that works. Yeah.
Yeah, and so if we don't take someone down right off the gate, I don't know if we come out so good on the end of this, or I don't know if the whole world comes out so good on the end of this, because if there's a possibility that we could lose, all bets are off.
I would take it a step further and stop talking generic terms.
Okay.
So this is speculation on my part, but we've gotten stuff in Europe with the Ukraine-Russia war, right?
Right.
We've gotten stuff in the Middle East with Hamas and Israel. I think, notice how it's moving left to right. And that's me speculating, of course, but to me, the next big thing would be Taiwan.
Yeah. Or something with Korea and then Taiwan.
One of those two, or both.
Look what's happening right now with this thing we just talked about at the beginning with South Korea or North Korea fucking around and doing some shit. Is this the beginning of a bigger move or a bigger play by North Korea to start some shit? Because, again, all these things, the war in the Ukraine, the war in the Israel,
the war in the Israel,
or the war in the Middle East. Okay, let's just say the Middle East.
Yeah, the conflict.
The conflict there. You got those two things going on.
Now you need a third.
If you opened up a third, and now we're committing resources to all three of these things, then, and I think I've said this before, and then China pops off and takes Taiwan with fucking basically not a word, because fuck are we gonna do? We're tied up, our ass is all tied up in three different fucking places, and basically all we're gonna do is just bomb Taiwan until the factories are destroyed. That's like our plan.
Yeah, the semiconductors.
Right.
I still don't know what the semiconductors mean for technology itself. I know they're necessary for the future.
I just don't understand why we can't fucking make it here on the scale that they can there.
We're cheap.
Yeah, we are. But then, okay, so what? Then now guess what? Sorry, guys, you're going to make fucking minimum wage to make semiconductors. Listen, there's plenty of motherfuckers that could use a job right now making $20 an hour or whatever the fuck minimum wage here is in fucking California.
Yeah.
And goddamn, computers are already expensive anyway. So who gives a shit? Just fucking, you're already making windfall fucking profits.
Yeah.
Eat a little bit out of it to pay assholes right money so we can fucking make this shit here. I don't know. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. I do think that the next, if there was a prediction for 2024, is maybe it's not even the destruction of Taiwan, but it's the escalation of naval vessels like of China that just surround or just start feeling like it's imposing or they're trying to pull some shit and we're like, all right, this is it, motherfuckers.
Yeah. And well, another thing to think about too is what else is happening in 2024?
The presidential
US
election.
Presidential election, right?
That's a fucking coin toss if I ever saw one. I mean, it'll be a butterfly effect of what happens with in the future, like world events, like, because depending on who's voted president, I mean, we can get very different scenarios of how things play out. Like,
extremely different fucking scenarios. I mean, listen, we got to realize maybe the one reason that the Russians didn't invade while Trump was president was because, again, they knew that he was crazy and would fucking push the button on him. Who knows? Who knows what the real reason is? But the fact is they waited. So obviously we're having our own internal struggle with this situation right now. It's big news. I mean, Trump is being taken off of the ballot in multiple states where he's not allowed.
What was it? Is it Colorado? Was it Connecticut or Maine?
Connecticut, I think, did it. Maybe Maine also did. Maybe that's 3 now. I think I've heard both of those. Let's just Google it just to make sure. But
all right, just so we don't sound stupid. Even though this is a homo
stupidity, but I mean, we want to at least make sure we get some things right. States Trump is off the ballot. Okay, man. Illinois and Massachusetts are also trying to do it right now.
When?
10 hours ago. Well, it didn't happen, but it's
in the process.
It's in the process there. Okay, so he's blocked in 2 states. It is, oh God, tell me the states. Colorado and Maine. Yeah, you're right. It was Maine.
Okay.
So Colorado and Maine. And then we've also got Illinois and we've got Massachusetts. And the voters are trying to get this taken off. It's voters in Illinois and Massachusetts seek to remove Trump off the 2024 ballot. So I guess they can vote to fucking take him off the ballot. So
interesting.
And if that happens, obviously this is going to come. This is a prediction for 2024, but this is going to come down to a Supreme Court hearing. They're going to have to decide.
There's going to be something.
The state Supreme Courts are saying, "Oh yeah, we can take you off the ballot just because we want to, or whatever." I don't know if that really does hold up because, again, this is all interpretation of a document that was written 200 and fucking something years ago, right? That's the basis of our society is the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and all that stuff. So, and said amendments to the Constitution. So if we're using that to determine what's going to happen now, it really is, like you said, a coin toss. It could really just go either way, because all it depends on is how someone interprets something or how they view it with their take on it. And then who knows what the fuck could happen. But I don't see the Supreme Court fucking striking this thing or not striking it down. I see them striking it down. I see them, they're not going to allow fucking a presidential candidate who hasn't actually been convicted of a crime yet be taken off because they're saying that he was convicted, that he incited insurrection. That's what they're using. They're using the 14th Amendment. There's some clause in there about inciting insurrection or something to that effect, and that they're using that to say that, oh, well, now you're disqualified
I think,
from office.
Yeah, I think it's important to, this is aside from political affiliation.
Right, yes.
Like, I don't want to.
We're not endorsing any candidate.
No, I'm not trying to state my opinion on what I think of either the president or the former president. What I can ultimately say is that due process is,
that's the way to go, man.
that above all else,
Yes.
like that is the way to fucking go.
And that's what's fucking kind of scary about this whole situation is because if they're willing to throw out due process for a dude who was the former president of the United States, how easily would they throw due process out for us regular ass Joes, right? It just makes you fucking wonder.
Man, as far as that subject goes, I mean, people, if the Supreme Court feels that way, I mean, that's something I would have to look into myself as far as why they made that decision.
Sure.
I'm sure they don't feel as though that's the case where they haphazardly decided, you know what, we don't want this guy to be on the ballot.
Sure.
So I'm not saying what they're saying is illegitimate, but I would like to look into that shit myself. So
and strategically, right? Because obviously this is people trying to make sure that he can't get elected again because he's a threat to the current order, I guess, right? Whether you love him or you hate him, that's a fact. And so strategically, though, I don't see how this is a good move because all you're doing is almost guaranteeing he's going to get reelected or he's going to get elected by emboldening the people who actually like him. Yeah, the zealots. And you're just going to create more zealots because now the people that are on maybe the fence about Trump, they see this injustice happening because that's what it is. It's an injustice regardless of, like you said, due process is not being allowed. And that's something that could easily sway someone to go to his side of the fence. And then you're fucking up.
I don't think there's a win-win.
Let it play out.
Yeah, I don't think there's a win scenario for this anyways, because, I mean...
Yeah, no.
I don't think, regardless of what the situation is, I mean, people are already pissed off, so they're going to pick the side whatever...
Oh, yeah.
Whatever they feel is whoever's in the right. But, man, so what do you think ultimately happens with the presidential election?
Okay, so... Now, this is where I'm going to start to get a little crazy.
All right, here. This is your opinion, by the way.
Correct. Yes. Adam always likes to preface things that I say with "this is my opinion," and he's right.
Yeah,
it's an opinion,
and just as much as my shit's an opinion too. Like,
right. This is just because I'm going to say, I'm probably going to say some crazy shit right now.
All right, go ahead.
But it is my opinion. Okay. I personally don't think the 2024 election happens, or it doesn't happen in the way in which we think it's going to go down as normal. As it's always gone down. I don't think it's going to go that way. I think that with the current state of global strife and our own internal problems that we're facing here, I think if someone is going to strike to take us down or to do something, it's going to be right before or right around the election. And that's going to put us in a position to where if something really fucking major happens and say our current president would have to suspend elections or do something, all that's going to do is divide us even further because the people who are the zealots are going to say, oh, this is you just trying to hold on to power because you know you're going to lose, blah, 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 right? That's going to divide us even further. And who benefits when the Americans are divided? China, Russia, everybody else that's on the other end of the spectrum, they all benefit, and we're easy targets when we aren't united or whatever you want to call it as a people, when we're divided and fighting amongst ourselves over our own domestic issues. So personally, I think something fucking happens right around, I'm going to say around September of 2024. Something fucking happens. Who knows what it could be? I have some theories, but I say something major, some major event takes place that negatively affects us here at home in the United States. And then the world begins to change in a way in which I don't know if it ever goes back to any sort of normal after that. That's my opinion.
So a 9/11 catastrophe.
I think it's much bigger than 9/11. I think my personal opinion, and I've said this before.
But on that magnitude.
Oh, I think it's greater than I think it's a higher magnitude than 9/11 because I think it's not just going to affect one block or a couple blocks or a small part of the city. I think it's a countrywide fucking effect. I think something happens. My personal opinion is that I think something goes on with the power grid, or something happens with some sort of cyber attack, some sort of, I don't know how to say EMP, but some sort of cyber hack or something happens. Mm-hmm. And that's not me just being a conspiracy theorist. I mean, there's plenty of fact to back up how and we've talked about it before, how our electric grid is fucking, it's weak. It's antiquated and it's vulnerable. It would be very easy to shut down the power to the U.S. via hacking, via fucking blunt force attack. Actually, there's plenty of fucking things you could do to take that shit down. And if you took it down in a manner in which it would take months or even years to recover, we would destroy ourselves from within in a matter of fucking months.
Okay.
Killing each other over resources. That's the blueprint for how you take down America. Because we've become too reliant on A, technology, and B, electricity just in general. And if you take that shit away, the learning curve for how to survive without electricity, man,
it's astronomical.
It's fucking insane. And the people that don't have any concept of life without electricity or without fucking their laptops or their fucking cell phones, there's a lot of fucking people that are like that, man. And what are they going to do when you can't go to the grocery store anymore and buy fucking Wheaties or fucking, lean cuisines? What are you going to do?
What you going to do, brother, when the power grid goes out?
Shit.
Yeah, I bet North Korea sounds pretty good in terms of preparation for the end times.
At least they are used to it.
Yeah.
If anything, that's just their every day.
Like, that's Tuesday for us.
Yeah, what's crisis for us, and that's kind of another thing, not to indict us as a country or as a nation.
We soft.
But we are fucking soft, man.
SAWFT. Soft?
Super soft. And
that includes me.
Oh, yeah, it includes all. I'm not excluding us from that conversation. But every other enemy that we have in the world, their children go to school and kill Americans and fucking, I don't know if you've seen the little thing with the Chinese kids and they're doing their little military parade and then they do this they're like in kindergarten. No. And they do this military parade and they go up and they salute the principal and they do this marching, and man, it looks pretty decent. And then they take this, those rubber guns like that they use in training. It's like a blue rifle, or it's like a red. Sure, it's like a rubber. They'll have something like that, and it'll have like a fake bayonet on the end of it, and they'll run up to a guy in a suit or whatever, and they'll fucking bayonet the dude, and he's just pretending to be an American, and then they all yell "Down with America," and that's what they're doing in kindergarten. You know what our kids are doing in kindergarten?
Learning how to count, read.
Yeah. They're doing that too, but then they're also learning how to kill people. Or how to function in a militaristic society, I guess. Because
you talking about the U.S. or
no? I'm talking about the Chinese.
Okay.
And North Korea probably as well, and maybe Russia to a certain extent. But I don't see this going well with our level of softness and our level of fucking reliance on technology. And that's, again, we saw that I think we kind of talked about this before when there was that YouTuber that went to fucking was in New York or some shit and he was giving away PS5s and you remember those people were fucking killing each other because he fucking didn't think there was gonna be this many people and he only had like 6 PS5s and dudes were murdering each other in the streets, beating each other to death with traffic cones and fucking any improvised weapon they could find.
Yeah.
And this is the soft generation. They're capable of these acts of violence, but I don't think they have the fortitude to continue that in a long-term fucking effect. I think that's a short-term. Once their little anger goes away,
Just-
oh shit. Shit.
As much as any country, dude. I mean,
True.
because I mean, no other country has the military force like the U.S.
That's
Because I
correct.
mean, a majority of European nations don't have, a fraction of what we have in terms of equipment or manpower.
Right.
So, I mean, as much as soft as we are, I mean, what chance do fucking other countries have against?
Oh, right. No, and a similar fucking chance again is everybody's fucking soft. So that's where, like I said, I don't see this ending well for anybody. I think this whole thing, if China is for sure dead set on trying to become the big bad booty daddy of the world, basically, and be in charge and be the top dog, that they're obviously gonna have to go through us first. And we ain't gonna go down, like I said, without a fight. So it's not gonna end well for anybody. And I see 2024 as being that year where this is gonna be where Pearl Harbor happens. I don't know what form it's gonna take, but that's gonna be where now it's real.
So you're
Now
saying
it's-
September is the time?
I personally think sometime around September is when this is going to happen. I think it's close enough to the election that it'll piss people off that the elections have been suspended, and honestly, if it comes down to quote unquote some kind of a hack or something like that, they can take down all of our communications as well, and that's going to be where it's going to get real fishy, because if people don't know what's going on, people with just a lack of information is going to make people lose their shit. And if you don't know how long this is going to last, forget about it. And fuck, who knows if it's just exclusive to the US? Maybe it's some kind of thing that affects every country that was on that list that you fucking read earlier. If it was me and I was on the other team, if I was on the BRICS Alliance, every single country that's on that fucking that letter.
That's on the fucking death. That's
they're on the table.
They're on the hit list.
Yeah, when we do some cyber attack or some shit, we're not just going to shut down the U.S. We're going to shut down all those assholes.
That's what's really funny is that New Zealand co-signed that, and they're like one of the smaller countries. Are like, yeah,
fuck you guys. That's basically what they said.
They're like, the 5-year-old kid that hangs out with teenagers and adults. They're like,
They're
like, yeah, all right, we're down with that cause, but
man.
we're not gonna do. We don't have any leverage because we're
we're 5, but fuck, whatever, man. Like, we're still supportive.
Yeah.
And hey, that's
scrappy.
Yeah, that's right. It's appreciated because you know what? We're gonna need some motherfuckers like that when the shit pops off. We're gonna need some real true friends, because honestly, I don't know if something were to happen here like that, if those countries would actually stand by us. I don't know.
I hope they would. I mean,
do too.
As far as we know, I mean, we're the most giving country on the planet.
Oh yeah.
We donate to disaster funds and food related things. We donate as much as anybody, if not exceeding anybody else, what everybody else does. It's like, shit, man, for once, could we have it come back to us?
Could someone throw us a bone if some shit like this were to truly go down? Hey man, maybe you guys could come and give us a hand. We've been helping you guys out for the last fucking 100 years. Maybe everybody else returns the favor. Now's the time.
Yeah.
But again, nobody owes us anything as the way it goes. Nobody owes anybody anything, and they're gonna just say, "Hey man, thanks for all the help you gave us, but you're on your own, bitch."
That's your problem.
Yeah, that
sounds like a you
this
problem.
This is squarely your problem.
Well, so this isn't directly related, but when you're talking about softness, so Singapore, I think, has this thing where you have to maintain some kind of physical fitness where you're required to. I don't know if you have to weigh a certain amount, but you have to be in a healthy, I think, BMI.
Yeah, okay.
And you have to do certain physical exercises. I don't know what it is. It could be like 50 push-ups, running a 8-minute mile or 7-minute mile. And I don't know how often you have to do this, but this is what you do as a citizen.
Yeah. I've heard the countries that do that kind of shit.
So that to me is interesting because you're always at the ready to be in peak or at least decent physical shape to fight a war. I'm like, man, maybe we should do that at home.
I mean, we should, but here's the problem. We've become way too soft and now it'll never work. No one will ever fucking allow that to happen here.
Yeah.
I mean, we individually, and again, this is the whole reason why I'm fucking. Well, last year I decided I wanted to fucking become physically fit-ish, or at least physically fit enough to fucking not
functionally fit.
Yeah, to not just keel over from fucking. Because that's one of the things that I was alluding to on the other podcast we're talking about that, which I'll talk about now. I guess is the quote unquote prepper community. If you look at the majority of the motherfuckers that are in there, they're fat.
The doomsday
preppers or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Yes, you're preparing for the end of the world. But if you aren't getting your physical fitness house in order at the same time, you know what you're going to be? A victim. Because someone like me is going to come along and wipe the fucking floor with you. And I'm just going to take all this shit that you hoarded and I'm going to use it for myself.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, because I think the crutch would be... for a doomsday prepper, I imagine, is that they must have some kind of weaponry to protect them, right? But that can only get you so far.
Well, again, if you can't fucking run 25 feet and then accurately shoot somebody, you're going to die. Yeah. That's just the end of that's just full stop. You're gonna fucking die. So if you aren't also, you can spend all this fucking money on guns and you can spend all this fucking money on food and water and all this horse shit to be prepared, right?
Yeah.
But if you aren't fucking training, then all you're doing is wasting your money and you're basically a cuck because you're going to buy shit that someone else is going to take after they kill you. Mm-hmm. And you're just basically going to be a victim. So, I think that it's important for people to realize that if you want to fucking be prepared, it ain't just having stuff. Anybody can get stuff. It takes a real fucking
American hero,
a dedicated American hero to fucking be committed to the physical fitness aspect of it and to be fit as well, to be able to defend all the shit that you've collected.
So there was an incident, I think, that happened. So talking about the presidential election, I think there was an event where somebody tried to raid. What was it? Oh, shit. Here we go. Got to look up this shit.
Yeah,
somebody was arrested, I think, on some government property because they were not satisfied with the decision of the Supreme Court about removing Trump from the ballot. So they went overnight to go do some shit and they ended up getting arrested. So I think if I had a prediction for 2024 is that
there's more of that stuff
is going to happen like that. I think it's even simpler than what you said, that we do get an election and whatever the outcome is, I think if Biden wins, we get little skirmishes across the United States of people protesting or it turning to outright violence, and then it just becomes this whole universal, or actually a division nationally within the United States, that people are just unsatisfied with the presidency. And maybe we have, I don't know if we have another January 6th type of scenario where people just,
I think it would be like that, but more widespread, because I think people are also getting tired of the other elected officials, like the congressmen and all that stuff.
Oh, this is CUP, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, how could we? I got the perfect subject to end us on.
Okay, all right.
I know we kind of just abruptly fucking.
No, let's do it. Let's hear it.
So the Epstein.
Oh shit, that's right.
Oh man, how could we fucking forget?
God damn. Well, okay. So this is where I'm fucking confused. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I don't know who the fuck to believe because, okay, you've got these accounts.
I'm gonna do push-ups real quick.
Okay, all right. So you got these accounts that come on and say, hey, oh, the Epstein list is being released. It's being released. But then you got these other accounts like negging them saying, oh, where have you been? This list came out, years ago or months ago or some shit.
I think the one they were talking about was in 2019.
Yeah, right.
Which was like a.
I felt like it was like a flight log.
Yeah.
But this is just the list of people who are like confirmed to have been on the island.
But this also doesn't mean that they were heading to the pedophile island. This just means that there were flight records of said persons
on one of his jets or whatever.
On one of Epstein's planes. But I will say, dude, there were people that had numerous flights, like David Copperfield, the magician.
Oh, yeah.
He had like 137 noted records of him being on a plane with them. So that to me says this Epstein fellow must have been doing something that the other gentleman, David Copperfield, liked.
Yeah.
Which may or may not include the pedophile
diddling
island.
children.
Yeah.
So, which it is weird to think, man, how the fuck does David Copperfield get fucking connected to Jeffrey Epstein, Well, obviously we'll never know because he's allegedly dead.
Yeah.
But, I mean, shit, that is... yeah, I don't know how we fucking forgot about that, but I thought that there was going to be something that stopped it. That there was, oh, nope, it's going to end. But I think they said there was one person or two people who got their names to remain redacted. And obviously we'll never know who they are. But
maybe 2024 is that year where
maybe that comes out. Maybe it leaks who the fuck that name was.
Yeah, I mean, of the names that were listed, Donald Trump, though not proven if he actually, I think it showed his name twice, but that doesn't prove anything. Michael Jackson was on it.
Oh, yeah,
I think
that
once,
makes sense.
But there was a witness that said, "Did you massage Michael Jackson?" And they said no. So it could just be that
he just happened to be there. Yeah,
he just happened to be there. Robert F. Kennedy was one of them. I forgot who the other people were, but it seemed like this Epstein person liked holding this information over people. So it's like, oh yeah, come out to my island, and it's like, now we got leverage over you. This is
you came to the pedophile island.
Gotcha,
so yeah, gotcha, bitch. So I don't know what this really means or how it's going to be perceived by the general populace, or if anybody even gives a shit anymore.
Yeah,
because
you think Ghislaine Maxwell dies this year?
Oh,
or
yeah. If she's not already dead, because I mean, we don't fucking know. It's not like she's going out and posting on YouTube every day. Like we have no idea if she's actually alive or not.
I would be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we just find her, like she uses her garments and just makes a makeshift noose and just hangs herself in her cell.
Right? Yeah, probably. I thought you were gonna say, and she fucking makes a makeshift rope and she climbs out of prison with the bed sheets and fucking cartoon 90s cartoon style. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, I don't know, man. I think definitely for sure she dies. She's something's gonna happen. And as it comes to the list, I guess we should. I mean, that might even need to be a segment on another fucking episode where we literally just look at all the names on the list and then go through it.
What do you think it means to you though? Just the list being even released and with all the names. I mean, there's I don't know how many names are in it, but what does this do for you? Like, what do you take out of it?
Honestly, we know about what Epstein was involved in, and just because, and this is the other thing that sucks too, is it's hard to tell, because just because somebody went on his plane doesn't necessarily mean that they were fucking going there to fuck kids, or they could have been going somewhere else. It doesn't necessarily mean that they went to fucking pedophile island, but it also doesn't disprove that they didn't go to pedophile islands. So it really is just a catch-22 of what you're going to do. Because and then also, what are you going to do if there's a name on the list? They're all fucking generally famous people. So what are you going to do? Not support that famous individual anymore? I mean, who fucking cares at that point? I mean, it's a little fucking point. It's almost too little too late. It's almost pointless now, in my opinion. Because what are we going to do about this information? Unless we form posses and go and fucking grab these people and kill them for being child diddlers, then what's the point?
If it mattered more with, I mean, shit, dude. There's a lot of people. Sorry, I'm a little winded.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of people upset with the government itself, right?
Yeah.
So if there is an unredacted version that includes politicians on both sides that are confirmed pedophiles.
Oh, yeah. It's over.
You clean the house, dude.
Yep.
Like, once you find out who does what,
it's over for them.
I would love to just have that out open in the air, be like, hey, these are people within our government that are doing this type of shit. Are these the people you want as elected officials? And we collectively say, fuck no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I'd love that. I mean, shit, dude. But I mean, there was like a statement or something. I don't know who made it, but it was something along the lines of like, well, if we actually release the unredacted version, well, it could be harmful to a lot of people. Well, no shit. That's exactly what we want.
That's what you get. That's your consequence for fucking children.
Yeah.
Is some harm may come to you.
Yeah.
So, that is what we want. Let's see it. Oh, it would ruin so many people's lives. You know how many
That's
lives
not my problem.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I wish that we could get the full fucking everything. We'll never fucking get it. The people that make the decisions on that are probably ones that went to the island. So, of course, they're going to keep it fucking silent.
What do you think about, 2024, last thing.
Okay.
So we got the ball rolling with the alien shit.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think we make any progress with the progression of the revelations of alien life? Or do you think there's any...
I don't remember if we talked about this on a podcast or not yet.
Okay.
But you remember during the game show awards like a month or two ago, and they had that thing where it was this projection in the sky.
Okay.
That looked fucking so good. Mm-hmm. And it was a portal. Right. And it had characters from one of the games coming out of it. But man, if you were just chilling somewhere and you saw that with, I don't know, whatever UFOs or alien or some shit coming out of it, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference if that was real or not, right? So if we have some crisis, that could be the crisis. It's fake aliens that come or maybe real aliens. Who the fuck knows? I mean, we don't know really one way or the other, but I do think that there will be an increase in shit happening on the alien related front.
Yeah. I mean, we still have that gentleman. Do you happen to know his name?
Which guy is this?
The guy that was doing all the leaks for the last year. He hasn't actually said anything, but he just confirmed, or at least from his own personal observations, that alien life forms exist. But I
don't remember the guy's name.
All right. In the meantime, let me look this guy.
Yeah, look it up. But I'm sure I'm sure aliens fucking exist, right? We've kind of been over this road. There's no fucking way that they don't exist. It's actually more unbelievable to think that there's no such thing as aliens and we're the only motherfuckers that exist. That is much more unbelievable than, oh yeah, there's aliens. Yeah, okay.
David Grush.
Or
Grush.
Okay.
David Grush was the person that was the whistleblower that says that alien life exists. Real. But they can't, the information that he wants to leak hasn't been able
to be leaked.
To be processed in order for it to be public information or whatever. So and maybe we make progress in 2024. Man, wouldn't that'd be like some landmark shit for 2024 is to have fucking alien life confirmed
100%,
and that there's interdimensional beings that can not only travel through space and time, but are capable. I mean, dude, the fucking whatever devices they got have got to be more capable than what we got.
Oh yeah. Well, right now, I mean, we're preparing for going to the moon again. In what's funny, just on a side tangent, what's funny is the fucking shit that we're going to the moon in 2025. It's the same exact looking shit as what we allegedly went to in the 1960s. Mm-hmm. So you mean to tell me in fucking 60 years, you guys didn't come up with a better fucking design or a better fucking method of going to the moon? Mm-hmm. But you expect me to believe that we went to the moon with less technology than what's on my cell phone in the entire craft. A-okay, and everything was fine. But now going back, we're basically taking the same shit and going up there. I don't know if I buy that. I don't know. Just definitely raises a few questions. That's all I got to say. So
I don't know.
Something to think about. But yeah, it's the lunar module and it's the Apollo fucking same exact shit. It looks exactly the same. The lander, it's exactly the same. The only difference is now they got this new thing that they're going to be putting up in 2029 called the Lunar Gateway, which is basically a space station that's going to orbit around the moon. And that's going to be the hub.
So it's like the ISS?
But it's just going to circle the moon. And everybody goes to there. And then there's like this space elevator they're going to build that then they will be able to ferry supplies and shit down to the motherfuckers living on the moon.
How the fuck is that going to work?
Magic? I don't know.
I don't know enough about astrophysics to conceive that even in my brain.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense, but that's what I'm told. That's what the plan is. So, I mean, 2025, we're like this year is supposed to be a test of something. And then 2025, we're supposedly sending a crew to the moon just to orbit it and then come back. And then in 2027, we're sending another crew there to do one more prep mission before landing on the moon. And I think maybe 2027 is landing on the moon and setting up the initials for like a HAB base there. And then I think 2029 is them putting in that lunar gateway and then adding on to whatever facilities exist.
All right, what do you think that ultimately means? Is it lunar colonization, or why even bother going to the moon? We'll make this the last thing.
Yeah, I fucking have no idea. Why did we go fucking 60 years ago? What, 4 times
to plant a flag
and then never went back? We haven't gone back once. And you mean to tell me that we didn't have the technology to do it? Oh, we sure as shit could. We did it. We allegedly did it. So why the fuck can't we go back? Mm-hmm. Now, at least this shit will be live streamed because you know it's gonna be. You know Red Bull's gonna have a guy on the fucking ship, and he's gonna be fucking having his fucking camera and his sunglasses and his Sugar Free Red Bull. He's gonna be like, "Yeah, man, we're going to the moon, buddy."
Yeah.
So this shit will be televised 100%. I'm not convinced that the footage that exists of the moon landing in the 60s is real. I'm not convinced that footage is real. The jury is out as to whether or not we ever actually went. And as I'm looking into this more, it's making me lean towards maybe we never fucking actually went to the moon and we just faked it to fuck with the Russians. Because God, that makes so much fucking sense. It's such a perfect fucking explanation for why we allegedly went a couple of times and then never went back. It's because we never actually fucking went in the first place. And if we've been there and we know everything and how shit goes, why would we be sending the first mission there just to orbit the shit and then come back? Send the mission. We didn't do that. We sent the first fucking mission that they went to the moon. They landed on it. So why the fuck are we fucking around here? This makes no sense to me whatsoever. So the more I look, the more I observe, the more it's telling me that maybe we didn't fucking actually go to the moon. I don't know.
Yeah,
so,
well,
jury's out.
Yeah, well, we exceeded our 1 hour mark.
Yep. we needed to hit an hour and 7 minutes, right?
Which means that
went over.
we are no longer going to have the left. What is it?
Oh, fucking leave the world behind. Yeah.
Save that for.
That'll be on another episode for when we don't have a topic to talk about. We only have one or two things to talk about.
Yeah. So made it.
We'll deep dive that. We'll deep dive that on another episode.
All right, cool.
So anyways, if you followed us along on this journey of predictions, thank you for listening. We're also going to do now, because this is the prediction episode. So at the end of 2024, in the year in review episodes we'll be doing for all the podcasts, CUP will be us going back and saying either told you or damn, I was so fucking wrong. Which it'll more than likely be the latter.
Hey, the better outcome is that we are always wrong and nothing comes true.
That's always optimal.
And the world continues to spin.
Yep, continues to spin and be fine. And we go to the moon and we get to live stream. Man, that'll be a cool thing to do a podcast live streaming the new moon landing in 2026 or 2027. That'd be dope. I mean, I'm just saying, they're pretty fucking sweet. So anyways, we thank you for listening. We thank you for continuing to tune in every week. And hopefully 2024 doesn't fucking suck like we like I think it's going to in terms of crazy shit in that world happening. So anyways, you got anything else?
Fuck, I hope it doesn't, because then that means we can't make more episodes.
Yeah, I know. That is the one takeaway for sure, is that will make me the most sad. Is that, well, then we can't fucking record more podcasts, because then we won't have electricity.
Maybe I'll go the same way. I'll go out the same way like Ghislaine Maxwell when she
just hang ourselves.
Herself.
Yeah, just kill ourselves. We can't make more podcasts.
Makes a new set of her jumpsuit or whatever the fuck they're making her wear. All right. Well, we've reached the end of the episode. Thanks for tuning in, peeps.
Yeah, homies. Thanks. We'll see you on the next one.
That was the latest episode of the Central Unintelligence Podcast. Don't forget, subscribe and like on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine. We're also on Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Also, our website, www.GameRageMagazine.com.